And so part of me was like, oh, damn, like how am I
How
going to
do
do
I
this,
handle?
you know? But I put them through the exact same workout. And in fact, Marion Barber wore like a 40-pound weight vest through the whole workout. He was just a freak of nature. And, you know, obviously I did different weight, but the same exercises. And it was he went, she went. He went, she went. And I did this. And at the end, they were like high-fiving each other and laughing and smiling. And I was like,
You saw something there.
I saw this like light bulb go off. I was like, this is it.
How you developed the concept itself?
So I trained professional athletes for years, and through that process, I started to realize that I kind of had like a system of the way I did things. So it was a push movement, a pull movement, so antagonistic, so complement each other. So like the chest complements the back, the shoulders complement the lats, the quads complement the hamstrings. Like anything in the posterior, you need to work on the anterior. And then as I was a strength and conditioning coach, you would actually do two pulls, so two posterior versus every anterior, because most of the time we're doing like pushing things, like we're always front loaded. So, and it's so important to make sure your posterior chain, that's how you get the good posture and the strength. And your biggest muscles are your legs and your back. So I, through training professional athletes, what was happening in the industry is that the off season started to shrink. So instead of training guys for 4 to 6 months in the off season, it turned into like 3 months. Then that turned into 2 months. Then that turned into 3 weeks, because the way teams had control of the players started to change. And so
you
guys
need to be more efficient.
Yeah, well, they wanted them working out with the team. And so these kind of like what we were called like private strength and conditioning coaches just the time started to fade.
Correct.
And then obviously the money started to fade. So I think it was right around like 2010-ish, I started to see the rise of CrossFit, Orange Theory, Barry's Boot Camp, these kind of Soul Cycle was massive. And so I was like, what if I did something like that? So I started a boot camp. At the time it was like Barry's Boot Camp was so popular. So I started a boot camp, and I did it Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. And I mean, without even really trying, within 3 weeks, I had over 100 people showing up.
Wow. At the OG location?
At the OG location. So
you used to open 2 days there?
Well, I would be open for personal training from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. But for the class,
twice a week.
It was just twice a week. It was just
it became super popular.
But it became massively popular. And then I became kind of infamous because I would like kick people out of the class. I mean, this is when, like I'd get arrested if I, taught the class like I used to teach it. It was a true boot camp. Like I'm talking intense as all get out. And like if you didn't do what I told you to do, I just kicked you out of the gym. And then they would always come back like, can I please take the class? Stuff like that. And then because I used to train professional athletes, and because I was so busy, I used to double book all the time. So, if I was training you at 8 o'clock, I would also book Matthew at 8 o'clock, because sometimes you wouldn't show up. So I just made sure that slot was filled. But then if you showed up together, I would just train you together and give you the best workout of your life, so you didn't really care.
Correct.
And I mean, 99% of the time it worked. Every now and then I had a client get pissed off, but for the most part it worked. And because it was a private place, it worked.
And so everyone came here like to train with you, or you were traveling also?
No, everybody was coming to me. When I had my location. When I first started, I was going all over the place, but when I opened that first Legacy in 2008, everyone came to me. And it was funny too, because when I first started doing it, people would be driving down that street and be like, bro, where am I? Because they'd be driving their Ferraris, Rolls Royces, and they'd be like, bro, what is this? This is like they'd be passing hookers and crack houses. It was wild.
Yeah.
So one day I double booked, and I had Marion Barber, who was a Dallas Cowboys running back. He was like 6'3", 240, like a specimen. Huge. I don't know if you remember him, but he was a specimen. You're probably too young for that. But
yeah.
But just a badass running back. And then simultaneously, I had this like 300-pound overweight woman show up, and they showed up at the same time. So the next time I did the boot camp, I had like 80-something people, and I started pairing people up. So I was like, you go, station 2, station 3. And then I turned on the music, and I started, and then I just kind of took a step back after like 15 minutes, and I just started watching people. like changing each other's weights, spotting each other, you know, talking, encouraging, motivating, you know, sometimes yelling at each other, like friendly competition.
Correct.
And I was like, oh, this is it. I was like, this is it. So then I immediately tried to make a system of it, you know, to try to make it make sense. So I was like, all right, this exercise doesn't work. And it was funny because back in the day, I mean, we had sledgehammer hits and tire flips, and like we had a rope that you would go climb to the ceiling and ring the bell. And
that's cool.
Yeah, well, it was cool until it wasn't cool, you know. So I'll never forget. I had this woman. She was like, it was amazing that she even got to the top because it was 16-foot ceilings. But she got to the top, she rang the bell and let go. And so I witnessed in slow motion.
Wow.
I witnessed this, you know, pretty hefty woman falling 16 feet, landing on the ground, and luckily she just bounced up and started laughing. But my heart went into my stomach. And then another situation, a sledgehammer hits. I saw a sledgehammer go like this across a young woman's face. I mean, I'm talking an 8-pound sledgehammer. And I was like, oh my gosh, she could have died. So it was like, you know, being responsible and saying, all right, this exercise doesn't work and this doesn't work. And then also learning that like that boot camp, like yell in your face craziness, I had to dial that back a little bit because I wanted it to be for the masses. I didn't want to be too niche.
You started balancing out the concept.
Yeah. And then also the rep scheme, the 2 minutes a station, 30 seconds in between each station. Like that was like, sometimes we did 3 minutes a station, sometimes. So that was all. So it took 6 years of trial and error before Pitt became Pitt. And it was really cool because we kept calling it boot camp. And then one day someone said, yo, this is like Pitt, like your pit bull. This is like partner interval training. I'll never forget, it was a member. And I was like, oh my God, that's genius. And so I literally called my trademark attorney and I was like, trademark Pitt right now, partner interval training. Cause you know, it was the pit bull, it was the Pitt. It was like genius.
It was perfect.
And I still, to this day, I don't know who did that. They'll probably be calling me for royalties or something, but
yes, please.
Yeah, like, bitch, I came up with that, but,
at least for a free membership.
Exactly. Something. But yeah. And then I was raising money and, this guy was like, hey man, listen, I love what you're doing, but the whole thing is you. It's like, if you stop coaching, if you don't run it, it's not going to work. So, and he owned 33 Planet Fitnesses at the time. So, you know, I respected what he had to say, but I also disagreed. So I said, you know what? Okay, I hear you. And that day I stopped coaching. I was like, I'm not coaching ever again. Like, you know, again, loosely.
Correct. Because you started focusing on getting the business run with people.
Yeah.
So you can keep
So
growing.
then I just started pouring everything I had into those around me to coach Pitt, to learn the systems. And it was just the best thing, you know, that I ever came up with, because it was a scalable system. It took me out of the business. It wasn't so much reliant on me, but yeah, that's how Pitt was born. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I see that you listen a lot to these, like, you know, signs.
Here's the truth. Most people are walking around chronically dehydrated, and the water they're drinking to fix it is actually working against them. It's stripped of minerals, or it's loaded with contaminants and microplastics, and it's all coming from these plastic bottles. So you're drinking more, but you're getting less. So my team and I, we fixed that. We created No Days Off Premium Water. We take it through an 8-step reverse osmosis process. It comes out contaminant-free, PFAS-free, microplastic-free. Then we put back what your body actually needs: calcium, magnesium, and potassium. The electrolytes you sweat out, and the minerals that run over 300 reactions in your body. We balance it to an 8.1 alkaline pH for hydration that works at the cellular level. And we can it in aluminum, never plastic. So nothing leaches out into your water and nothing sits in the landfill. That's the hack. Hydration done the right way. Not more water, better water. But I'll be straight with you. Water is only half of it. The other half is showing up and doing the work. No days off. That's the whole reason this brand exists. So here's what I want to do for you. If you're local to, or even just visiting, Nashville or Miami, I want to give you a free workout at Legacy. On us, no catch. You come in, you train with our team, you feel what No Days Off is all about. So if you're serious about your health and you're anywhere near Nashville or South Florida, come see us. Book a free session at legacyfit.com. Walk into legacy and tell us the big dog sent you. We'll take care of the rest.